right, welcome back to the channel. Today I got the part 2 of this really awesome tool haul. A lot of vintage 80s, 90s, brand new USA made stuff. And take a quick look at it here and I'll take you through it. If you haven't seen part 1, take a look at that, as I think this one could be better, but there was a lot of good gems in there. I guess that is subjective. So just to remind you, I paid $100 for everything in both videos. So I don't know if you want to call this 50 bucks in this video and 50 in the other. So I definitely think I got my money's worth. Let's ask Joey B what he thinks.
There's an estimation of somewhere between 700 billion and $1,300 billion.
All right, so one of my favorite items, because it's still in the package, and you guys know I love new old stock. It is a little yellowed, but this is just a little ratcheting bit driver. It's got a couple of Phillips, a couple of slotted in there, and I'll see if I could take it out of the package and play with it at some point and update you on a future video, because it's, even though it's new old stock, I think I could take it out of the clamshell as the way it opens and still use it. Some more new old stock. Now this one's got a little wear here, which I find interesting, unless they used it still in the package, but that just could have been shelf wear. And these are those screwdriver that hold screws, and I know Magdad loves these. He does more of the vintage ones, but just to give you a quick preview on how these work, if you don't know, I think everybody kind of does, but you just stick the screw in there, and how neat is that when you need to get in those tight spots. So these are new old stock, Western Forge, and got a pair of those. All right, next up, take a look at these beauties. This is a 1-inch Craftsman Professional Series wrench, and it's still got the barcode on it. So makes me think that I dug all over looking for a complete set, and I just couldn't find it. And then here's a 7/8 model. This is definitely more modern in my opinion. And this one, when I picked it up, just seemed eerily familiar to me. And what I mean by that is I have SK wrenches, as you would think I would, right? Here's the nice SK polished ones, and that's the exact same wrench. And so SK was making these for Craftsman at one time, and that's what this one is, and she's a beauty. And then this one, I'm not sure who made this one. I know they said Armstrong at one point made them for SK as well, for Craftsman as well. Could have been SK for all I know, but I just never seen that type. Anyway, I searched and searched because I would love to own a complete set of these, and unfortunately those are the only two I found. So I was playing around comparing the wrenches, and I got this mishmash set here of SK, all great USA brands, Snap-on and some Husky USA, and look at this. That 1560, oh no, the 1-inch actually fits into the set like it was meant to go there. As the largest size I had in this particular set only went up to 15/16. Next up, a snap ring pliers. These are great, come in handy. Just couldn't find a maker's mark on it. It says made in the USA. These must have been rebranded for a lot of different companies. I was just checking in my toolbox. I have a pair here that were branded by Blue Point. So not sure who made these, but nice little find. All right, next up, take a look at this heavy duty ball joint separator. This thing's over a foot long, got to be closer to 14 inches. Craftsman USA. I don't know if it was ever used. So, I mean, it just, man, that's got some good weight to it. So this next item, not too common in this part of the country, or this brand, I should say. I believe that's Montgomery Ward's. I believe they were big in the South, big department store. This one made, my guess, is by Crescent. I just love these smaller ones, 6-inch, 4-inch, keep them in a socket set when you need to hold the back of a bolt when you're ratcheting. They save you a trip to the toolbox. And here's some Snap-on. Got some more Snap-on in this one. Now this one's going to need to be a real big cleanup. As you can tell, it'll probably clean up great. My guess is they're probably getting good money for these, as Snap-on is, you know, huge collector item, and it's got all the bits in it that would go into it. So this will be a fun one to clean up. I don't think I'd sell it. I'm not opposed to selling it. I do like to sell a lot of Snap-on stuff because I could probably get, you know, I don't know what they're getting, 50 bucks for this, 60 bucks I could probably get, or close to it. and that'll pay for almost the whole haul. One item like this for that I'll pretty much never use. But I do like to collect, so that's always the dilemma. But the Phillips look good, and those are usually the ones that strip out. This usually cleans up great, this material, as I've cleaned up some of those ignition kits that come like that. It did have a flap that folded over. That is missing, but I'll tell you, these Snap-on guys, they're not too picky, though. All right, so the Bob Vila Specials. These are the Craftsman Robo Grips. And someone wrote me not too long ago, Tom, don't be harsh on the Robo Grips. I like my Robo Grips, and I never really owned them. I always just thought they were gimmicky with all the commercials, infomercials. And this one is the one that kind of clamps on, and it seems like it would be, and these are smaller, these are about 6 inches. This would be for, like, you know, vice grip is what I'm trying to say there. And they got a little case in them, which I thought was kind of cool. Look at that, like almost like a Kydex holster type thing. So I'm not too impressed with that one, as I don't, but this one I actually really like. Take a look at this one. And these will look great in the Craftsman toolbox. Look how nice that is. How that comes up and levels out. See that? It really hinges on and then levels out in the hand. It seems like it's got a good grip. This is that laminated design like I shared with you the other day. And I think this one is something that'll look good in the Craftsman USA toolbox. Thank you, Bob. I mean, everything in this haul is just a lot of it's just like brand new. This was absolutely never used. My guess is it was probably, you know, a bigger one, a 3-piece, 4-piece set, and they used the bigger ones and never the smaller ones. And then if you remember in the last video, I had the larger pair of these snap ring Craftsman Professionals, and here they are. And I wasn't crazy about them because I just felt like they were so big and bulky and not a great design. But this small one, you can see this one's seen a lot more use. For good reason. Just seems like it's a much better design and would work great. So I got a pair now of the snap ring pliers, and while we're on pairs, I'll pull this out. This is a Craftsman laminated, very similar to those Robo Grips design, channel lock type pliers. This is a bigger one, probably about 10 inches, and then in the last video I had the smaller one, so I actually got a pair of these now. So, and that's the exciting part. I just pack these things, and sometimes I lose track of what's in there as I'm going through, and I'm always looking for these great vessels or, you know, things to package my tools in. The last one I had that nice red one. This is a nice charcoal gray toolbox tray, and like I said, those are basically free. They're not adding those into the cost when they're ringing you up, so can't beat it when you take that approach. This item I got as nostalgia. This is a Cal Hawk pry bar. You might think I'm crazy, but I had a 4-pack of these, I don't know, in the early 90s that we got off a guy that was selling cheap tools, and I had these in my toolbox for a long time and used them at work for a long time. And, you know, like a knockoff Snap-on, and they did the trick. I think this is Taiwan. This is just a small one, so that's a good memory. More Snap-on. Now, if you remember, Scoutcrafter just did a video on these where he actually restored a pair, had to put that nut in there that's, you know, made for that slip joint, and that was quite a really cool project, and really enjoyed that video. But these are for those snap ring, not snap rings, for the hose clamp pliers, and that's why it's called HCP, hose clamp pliers. I was looking for where they put the date code on this, and I just could not find it. I searched these pliers all over, inside out. I thought Snap-on put a date code on everything because I was really curious about that logo and the date. My guess is, you know, the handles are a little faded, probably from the 80s. I guess they didn't always put a date code on their tools, but that'll clean up great. I do not currently have a pair of hose clamp pliers. I think I may have a proto pair, but these are really nice. All right, so just grab these. Nothing, you might say, Tom, what's so great about those? Nothing more than just some G-Series Craftsman sockets. Yes, but I love these Craftsman rails. These are great. I have several of these from, I don't know, the early 2000s, and they're just really well made. But most importantly, look at this socket here. Let's see if I can get you that. That is a 5.5 millimeter. One of the most elusive Craftsman USA sockets you can, and I've been looking for that forever. So finally got that to complete my set. I currently have like an AC Delco Taiwan made one, I believe, or something like that in the set. And even SK was out of stock on them forever back in the day when I was trying to buy one from them. I'll probably never use it, but it fills that set. And if you're like me with OCD in your socket sets, you just hate having those empty spots. All right, so in part one, I showed you these really great files, and I got a lot of comments from folks saying that they've actually come across these recently as well, and they never knew they existed, and neither did I. They're just really cool Craftsman USA files, but hey, I didn't even realize in the bottom of this tray, look at this, a nice round one, and I really like the round ones as they come in handy as well. So a nice 3-piece set of Craftsman files, almost brand new. All right, more new old stock Craftsman, and these are spark plug sockets. And what I like about these are the sizes. You got a 3/4 inch, you don't see that as common, and you see an 18 millimeter, another one you don't see as common. And how cool is that, still in the original packaging? So nothing was organized at this place. I don't know if they like dumped out a toolbox and they just poured it in these Sterilite bins. So I had to dig and dig, and I was at this place for hours. And the lady was like, you know, she was nice, and we were chatting for a while, and I think that's why I got good deals as well. But yeah, I think I got a complete set here, but I'm not sure. This is a 5-piece Craftsman Professional, and these are those hex style screwdrivers. I've picked these up in the past where they were made in France, but these are actually by Facom, and these are actually USA made ones, and I don't think I have this particular hex series of these screwdrivers, so pretty cool set. All right, so a couple more items in there I got to take you through, and then you're just gonna love all the stuff in this toolbox as well. So the next item in here I just wanted to show you real quick, another Craftsman USA, one of these little bit screwdrivers, pretty cool. Little knockoff type of mini pliers. This I thought was kind of neat because this could make a good keychain. This is a Husky, and it's almost like a Swiss Army style little knockoff Leatherman, but it's got all the stuff in it, scissors and knives and little files and stuff, so pretty cool. This I love. This is a Allen Jr. key set, and it looks complete, and that should just clean up great, and that is just a beautiful piece of history. Look at the writing on that. That is so cool. It says Federal Stock Number. Huh. Interesting. This is a snap-on item. Unfortunately, I think it was a test light. It's missing the component, so it'll now be a little snap-on all, or also known as a pokey thing. Some speed handles. This is an SK 3/8 one. Seemed really nice and straight. Worked great. This one is a 1/2 inch drive, and it's just really heavy duty, and I was curious about it. So that is an Industro, and those usually clean up great. And then this item, I always wanted one of these, and I finally came across one, and this is just a little palm ratchet. It says something grip, palm grip. It's actually called a palm grip, and listen how fine this is. It's really fine-toothed, and I think that is just neat. I don't know how often I'll use it. This thing looks like it's been used, though. And that just seems like a really cool item. It's heavy-duty, and I always seen these and always wanted one of these. Not sure where it's made. Might be made overseas for all I know, but it's heavy-duty, so I have to check that out. So I cleared everything off, and I'm ready to take you through this toolbox now, and it is just packed with Craftsman new old stock. How this is just nuts, right? Let's dig in and notice what I packed it all in. Got myself a good old school Homer toolbox, and it's actually got a pretty cool tray in it as well. All right, so the first item I want to show you is just a DeWalt brand new, made in the USA keyless 3/8 chuck. Not sure what they're getting for those these days, but they, you know, because everything's kind of keyless. But back in the day when you had an electric drill with the old Jacobs chuck, that was a score. And this is a Jacobs chuck. It actually is branded Jacobs USA, and this is one as well. And I've been on a cutter kick lately. I feel like you can never have enough cutters. This is a Stanley, and this one is a Craftsman. It does not say USA on it. It's got one of these things where the back opens up and you can put the blades in there. Seems pretty heavy duty. But here's one that, I like this classic Craftsman USA one. And that'll look great in the Craftsman toolbox. And a nice pack of Craftsman blades to go with it. Alright, so here are all of these plastic cases. And first thing up, I want to show you here, brand new, once again, new old stock, Craftsman screw extractor set, made in the USA. Just beautiful stuff. So he must have been concerned about breaking stuff, because here's a brand new extractor set as well. And this has got the bit and then the extractor that goes with it. Unbelievable. Never used. And then here, oh my goodness, I got two of them? I didn't even realize that. Two extractor sets. So you'll see as I go through it, I got doubles and certain things. I got triples and quadruples on, and it made me think that this guy had a large lunchbox. So I'll explain to you in a little bit what that means. And this is a really nice set of drill bits. These are not those cheap black oxide type ones. These got that nice coating on them, and they are, oh man, are they sharp. Now there are a couple that look like they were lightly used, but that's something I'll definitely be keeping in the collection. And then look at this. Remember DeWalt back in the day with their drills? And that was my first really good new drill. And they used to have a little spot on the drill where you could click one of those. It was towards the base on the bottom. And these were like, you didn't want to lose these, as these were not as common as they are today. And this is all USA made. And here is Piranha, it says on it. It says Black & Decker. And these are just some little saw blades here. Bi-metal. And a nice little case. And that's kind of cool. It actually lifts out. And as you can see, none of them were ever used. And they're all in perfect condition. I got this toolbox pretty full, and here's some more of those blades. This is just a Black & Decker set, and it looks like you could rotate it, and as you spin it, you could get to the blade that you want out of it. All right, this next item I'm really kind of excited about, because I don't own a really good set of precision screwdrivers, and that's what these are. These are made in the USA. And they're brand new. Look, this is all a package full of bits. Never heard of this brand before. Moody Tools, it says. Not too familiar with it. These cases clean up great with a little soap and water. You take everything out. And that's what I plan on doing with this. Cleaning this case and putting this back in the service. Because I'm pretty sure you couldn't get these anymore. A little bit of surface rust there, but that should come right off. As these look like they were basically never used. And knurling on these are amazing. Look at that. Moody. Oh, it says Providence, Rhode Island, USA. So I think that is just, and it's got all the different sizes, the extra pieces in it, and all the ones I got are cheap Chinese junk, I would think. And I would think that these might actually be a decent pair. It doesn't say USA on them anywhere, so probably not made in the USA, but this is actually a complete Stanley set of precision screwdrivers. So definitely some higher quality ones, not dollar store type stuff. This next item I'm gonna need some help with. Take a look at this. It says made in the USA, and it's got a little, it's got a one-way handle, and then look at it, it's got really great knurling on it. And if you spin it this way, you could use it more like a screwdriver. You could flip it around, so it only spins one way, and you could get more torque if you use it on something like that. I just don't know what it would be useful for, or if it was designed for a specific use. But I did notice this. You could put a standard screwdriver in it. This happens to be a Klein, and it'll work on that. And if you wanted to really get torque on something, look at that. Is that cool or what? Here's a Craftsman screwdriver. Does the same thing on that. And if you wanted to go the other way, just flip it around, and it really bites. I mean, I was pulling this hard, and doesn't even mar the surface. So really interesting design. Not 100% sure if it was intended to just be like a useful type of screwdriver, or if there was a specific design. I specifically really look for screwdrivers that have bolsters on them for that particular reason, because I like that leverage, and it really helps you from stripping things out. And that could be a useful tool. Let's see if it works on a snap-on. A little too big the head on this snap-on for it to work. Just wanted to try it out on a vessel because I love my vessel screwdriver. Oh yeah. So that is pretty sweet. This is my go-to screwdriver, actually, this vessel. And wow, that'll be great. This is the last of the stuff in the top of the screwdriver before the toolbox, before I show you what's in it. This is Performance Tool. I think that's like an AutoZone brand or something. I'm not 100% sure. But pretty nice. It's got a USA bit in it, so it might be made in the USA. And then this I thought was kind of neat. Just a small, I don't know, 12-inch little pry bar, crowbar, whatever you want to call it. USA made, as you could tell, very lightly used, if used at all. And then what I like about this, nothing more than electrical tape, but I love these containers. They keep you from getting the tape. This one happened to be all beat up, but they really keep the tape nice in your toolbox, especially if you have like a travel box. It keeps them from getting all dirty. Always great to store your tapes in these containers. All right, so these are the first of the lunchbox items, and the reason I'm calling them that is at the last tool swap meet, I brought a couple of these items to sell, and I was telling Bruce, I said, Bruce, I got packages of these, and he's like, I said, I just don't understand why somebody would have that many of these. I don't know if I got 10 of these 2-packs and several of these 10-packs. Beautiful Buck Brothers made in the USA. I gave Scoutcrafter a couple of these as a gift when I saw him. And he said to me, sounds like that guy brought a big lunchbox to work every day, and he was bringing stuff out with him. So it could be the case. Who knows where he worked, but they probably had this type of stuff, and he was taking it home with him, because nobody would have, you know, just racks of that in their basement. So beautiful USA made Buck Brothers saw blades for the hacksaw, 10-packs. I mean, these are just gorgeous. And those will look great, as I love new old stock, and as I need them, I'll use them. And then this was down there with it, and this is a heavy duty. Let me tell you, this thing is super stout. I mean, look how thick the metal is on this. This is a heavy saw, hacksaw made by Buck Brothers, made in the USA as well. I think Craftsman rebranded these, or whoever was making these for Buck Brothers and Craftsman are very similar, as you know, that's that design. But this is a heavy duty one. And then I got a few of these cut-off discs, and I actually brought a couple of these to the tool swap meet and was able to sell a few of them. I think I was getting about $5 a pop for those. And then over here, just some sandpaper. Stuff that into the toolbox as well. All different grits. I have one of these type of little sanders, so they come in handy, but I use them most of the time just by hand. And look at that. These were actually made in Canada, so some really good quality sandpaper. And here's just a Stanley sheetrock cutter knife, you know, cutting those little holes in the outlets and whatnot. Always comes in handy to have a couple of these when you're doing a project. You put one down, you can't find it. It's always great to have another one handy. And this is new old stock Irwin Hansen, and this is just, you know, a drill bit stand. You put your drill bits in there. And look at the year on this, 1990, made in Ohio, USA. Beautiful stuff. And then some more Irwin goodies. I was like, what's in here? And what's in here are these nice fractional drill bit guides, and they are heavy duty metal. And, you know, I looked to just see if these were still made in the USA, and they are. You can still find these made in the USA, and they're going for $20, I think, new, to buy one of these. And here is another one that's still in the original packaging. I think it's kind of funny. Stuck them in these optic cases. All right, and then a couple of bench grinder wheels. This is going to do it for the bottom of the toolbox. These are some nice Craftsman, never used. These are some 3/4-inch wide ones, and then here are some 1/2-inch wide ones, never used, 36 grit and 60 grit. So those come in handy for those projects when you come across those old bench grind. Now I just picked up a beautiful 1/2 horsepower Craftsman, and you'll see it in an upcoming video. It uses a 7-inch wheel. Have you ever heard of that? It's crazy. Looks like some more lunchbox items. Take a look at these Jacobs keys. Got a variety of sizes, 1/2 inch, 1/4, 3/8. And what's so cool about these is made in the USA. So that is a find. You know I love old drill presses, so to have some USA made Jacobs keys. And then the same thing here, look at these. These are Black & Decker keys, and same thing. Oh no, these are actually made in the UK. So how cool is that? You can feel the quality on these Black & Decker stuff, these old Black & Deckers. See if I can find a year on this. I'm not sure if there's a year. No, I don't see a year, but I was curious to see because you kind of date things. But probably 20, 30 years old. And look at all these adapters for the cord so you don't lose the holder, so you don't lose the key. And some distant products. I mean, they make just good quality stuff. This is not no cheap Harbor Freight wheel, made in Germany. So good stuff there. And then this is one that you could just put in your regular drill. Sometimes they come in handy as well. And this one's made in Germany as well. So then this guy had a lot of chainsaw type items, and I've been using my chainsaw a lot this year. I bought this baby back in 2000. And I paid $150 for it. How cool is that? I still got the receipt for it, and it's in the case, so you know it stays all nice in there. And I use it a couple times a year, and I keep the blade kind of sharp, and I keep it well tuned. And this year I've been using it more than ever, so I've been going through the chain bar oil a little bit more than I normally do, and then you know, this 2-stroke oil, as you can see on the receipt there. I think I paid 99 cents for it a long time ago. But up until recently, I was only paying $2 and change for these. And now these things are going for, I want to say I paid $4 for one of these little things that mixes with a gallon of gas. So it's just crazy how the inflation's been and the cost on this. So pick those up. You know, and there's no harm there. And then a really nice brand new chain here. Unfortunately, this is a 14-inch blade, and I have a 16-inch, so you never know though down the road if I come across another chain. So I'm not sure what type of spark plug I have in mind, but there's a nice McCullough spark plug. My dad loved McCullough. I always thought McCullough was the color of all chainsaws. I thought that's, you know, they were all yellow, and he used that thing a lot to heat the house, especially back during the last oil embargo back in the late 70s. And then just a file for the chain, for the blade. And these things get eaten up pretty quick, believe it or not. They don't last forever, so they're good to change out because they're kind of fine, and those blades are, you know, they're pretty hard. All right, and then I just got some consumables. I've been eating up this polyurethane. This workbench that I'm doing right now, that I'm putting this stuff on, was like a compressed, cheap type of board. It was nice heavy duty, but I put so many coats of poly on it. It's got this great durable finish, but I went through cans of this stuff, and then I got some stain. And then this, I grabbed this as quick as I saw it. This is expensive paint. This is hammered paint. This is going to come in. I got projects lined up where I need this paint. And this is the paint that I actually used on my drill press. Now, I never used it where this is going to be kind of rolled on or in a brush because I don't have a sprayer. I've always used it out of the can, but I think I'll get good results with it just as much. Just a cool funnel. I really like these funnels. They work great. I know for my power washer I need one like that. This I've never had before. Maybe you guys could tell me about this precision oiler. I'm not sure of the weight of it. And actually, one of them came open, so I'll leave that one in the package. And this says Omega Oil, and it's got this little tube on it, instrument oil. So what's instrument oil for, if you guys can let me know about that. And then here is some graphite lube. I don't have any of this. I know this is good for locks. It's just a powder, and it's just nice to have this stuff because you never know when you're going to need it. And when you have it, it saves you a lot of money. And then I found in here just an old recipe for camouflaging scratches with some WD-40. Thought that was kind of cool. And then where I bundled a lot of that stuff was in these nice mixing containers. So I got 3 of them. Once again, that was my vessel to purchase the stuff. And these aren't cheap when you do. These are a couple of bucks each. And when these get all jacked up, it's nice to have some that you could just throw out. All right, last couple of items. How to bring you back to the garage for. Can you get over the size of this haul or what? So I picked up a bunch of these gas cans. all different sizes. I gave a couple to my brother-in-law, and the reason I like to grab these is they got the nice spouts in them that don't have that new safety spill requirement on them. If anybody's learned how to use those, let me know, because I've basically given up on them and think they're a joke. Some nice color paint, almost an SK green, but this is like a nice vintage color. That'd be cool to paint an old motor or something in. Just some brushes, some sponge brushes. This killed me because I had to buy this literally 2 days before and use it in the yard, and then I found it, of course, the next day for basically free, and they're about $6 a pop. Whole bunch of these paint stars. I like these because you could clean the rim with them. So those are kind of, I think they're disposable, but you could kind of reuse them. And then over here, I got a bunch of these tiki torch things. I've already put a couple of them in the yard. My wife has these things all around the yard, and they go for, I think, $3, $4, $5 a pop, those things. And notice, once again, the items, the thing that I use to package it in, a nice tub. Can use this to clean stuff up in, put evapor rust, or just as like kind of a little mini slop tank for dirty projects, paint stripper. And if it gets really jacked up, throw it in the garden. And then the last thing I got is this nice heavy duty sprayer. I'm always using one of these for weed control and so forth, and I had this one that I was so proud of. I picked it up, and it was a really nice heavy duty one, and I rebuilt it, not rebuilt it, but I put all new O-rings on it because the pressure wasn't working. And then what kept happening this year is the hose just kept breaking. I kept cutting it, resetting it, cutting it, resetting it. It's just completely dry rotted. So probably need to see if I could pick up a new hose. I bet you I could probably get some tubing at Home Depot, but got a brand new one here. All right, thanks for sticking along with me today. I know this one was a lot of stuff and it was a little longer than I would have liked, but I had to get through it. So let me know in the comments section what was either your favorite items or what you think was better, part 1 or part 2. So like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing a lot of this cool old stuff.